Hi, I'm Construction Gamer, and this is the UK Northern Powerhouse on Transport Fever 2. This is going to be episode number 14 in the series, and in this episode I think I'm going to start one of the Transpennine routes across the Pennines from Manchester to, from Rochdale actually, up to Bradford interchange. I'd had off camera already built this route, which I'm not sure if it's a real route, it's probably not. But I just wanted to try and get rid of the bus routes I had from Bolton to Manchester and Rochdale into Manchester, so I've combined it into one rail route which comes into Victoria. It's not doing particularly well. I've just reduced them to, actually looking at the balance across the board, we're not doing amazingly well, but yeah, I've just reduced that to 2 cars with a 37 pulling them, so it's a bit overkill I think for it, but yeah, I'm just going to leave it. Well, I'm not going to leave it actually, I'll tell a lie. We're going to change things up completely. I think I am just going to leave the Bolton to Manchester shuttle as a 37, just running between Victoria and Bolton, but I'm going to extend the Rochdale service up to, I think we'll get as far as Bradford interchange. Just need to look at the lie of the land. It is supposed to represent the Pennines, but it's a bit out of scale, so it is going to be quite tricky to get up towards Halifax, but then actually getting up towards Rochdale isn't too bad. Just have a quick look down here. We've got, it's not a huge number, 52. Yeah, I'm slowly trying to upgrade on my trains. We're up to 1965 now. All the consists to, I think for now it's just going to be 37s pulling Mark 2s. Don't want to speed the game up. I'm tempted, but I don't want to speed the game up too much and rush through to the 1980s, so we could at least unlock some DMUs, the 156s, I think the late 80s. I could do that, but I don't really want to have to speed things up. One, because I think it ruins the game a little bit if we just rush through the years, and two, obviously costs of different things increase. What's he doing still minus? Whitby Darlington minus $1 million. Manchester Woodhead, I put an extra train on that because they were getting full, and again that's just bumping up and down into loss and plus. Loss and gain, but if we look at the overall profits, the rail routes in general are profitable, as are the road routes. They're still earning about £1 million per quarter, so it's not, the money situation isn't too bad. But I think one of the things that this game relies on very heavily is connectivity. So it's one of them things, once you start the ball rolling with connecting things, you can't really stop, because you have to keep feeding those town growth figures. Yeah, we're going to go straight into a tunnel there, straight off the bat. Yeah, that is straight into a mountainside, going uphill as well. But yeah, you just have to kind of keep feeding these towns to try and encourage the growth. We don't want to go straight into a mountain. It's not the end of the world, but I would like some above surface. Because that, where's Halifax? Halifax over there. Yeah, we're gonna have to live with some really quite large tunnels through here. Should be quite picturesque. I should do a bit more detailing, I guess, but yeah, I was trying to, when I designed this map, I was trying to keep the system kind of requirements down, because we have got almost 100 towns on this map, so it is going to be, towards the end of the game, it is going to be quite system intensive on the computer. So yeah, I wanted to try and keep that as low as possible, and by doing, one way to do that is not having thousands of trees everywhere, which I know doesn't make for a hugely attractive map, but the main aspect of this playthrough is actually getting these towns and cities connected up. So yeah, gone off track a bit there, but what I was saying is we just need to get the connectivity improved and improve that city growth factor. No, hold on. Right, if we do a tunnel, I just don't want massive tunnels everywhere, but we can get away with kind of little tunnels and then cuttings, which are then obviously we'll have to modify those later on, but yeah, just don't want massive tunnels really. Don't think it looks that good. I'm not sure. I know obviously it's the Pennines, there's going to be tunnels, but I don't know how many or how long these tunnels are, so keep them to a minimum, I think, is the best way forward. Why am I... That's fine, I can unpause the game now just so we can keep some money rolling in. Money's not doing too bad considering I've been spending a lot. I need to pause the game again. Considering I've been spending a lot on rolling stock, upgrading the locomotives to 37s. The money situation isn't awful. Buildings, blue. I know Northern Rail isn't a thing yet in 1965. That's what 1996, 1997 when it was privatised. But I'm going to keep the blue anyway going forward, just so we don't have to change them later on. So yeah, I'll put that in there. Obviously we'll need a shuttle of some description. I'll get the road in as well, just making sure that's nice and level. Just have a bit of... No, we'll keep... No, maybe not then. I'll put it to there and then see how that looks. It's not the best, but it'll do the job. I'll do the same here, just connect that up. Just bring that road out to about there, and yeah, we've disconnected that connection. We've made things quite awkward. Ooh, that's quite expensive. But yeah, we'll just actually need to make sure we can get these to reach, which they can. Bring that over to there, and then I'm going to have to modify the terrain around here because we're going to start seeing some growth and road connections need putting in, so we need to edit that terrain early on. I don't mind a bit of stone showing through there, I guess. Wonder if that'll go over. Just take a look at it. Now you see that really annoys me, those pillars where they just kind of end there. So I guess we're going to have to do it slightly differently. But yeah, but I wish those pillars would go a little bit further underground than they do, because it's not great, is it? Right, connect that up. Delete that. And then get this all connected up. Yeah, do a bit more demolition. Why not? We can afford it. And the town will rapidly begin to grow once these rail services get in action anyway, so I'm not hugely worried. I mean, I don't want to be flattening bits of town for no reason, but I just want to get all the roads in the correct places from the beginning, because I don't really want to have to come back and revisit things. So just want to make sure everything is lined up correctly. It's not the most attractive, but it will do, I think. We've put that connection back in so we can unpause the game again. Yeah, so I'm looking at my... Oh no. Right, built that wrong, haven't I? I draw myself a nice diagram in order to get this track correct, because it doesn't just go to Halifax like that, and that's really annoying. Why wasn't I looking at my drawing? We're going to get this right from the get-go. Right, so get all this. You can go. Yeah, well, this is going to have to come right back. Like so. Is that left some track in a hole? No, it's just doing a weird thing. It's kind of... I was complaining that the terrain resets itself after the track, and it's sort of doing a thing where it's not, but it's not quite leaving the track bed as it was. So what it should have been is not a tunnel off in that direction at all. Yeah, I know this is... I know I said money isn't really a problem, but I don't really want to be spending millions making things better, correcting mistakes. That's the word I'm looking for. Right, so we're going off in that sort of direction. Can we surface sometime? Right, to about there. Just referring back Todmorden. Yeah. Right, so that wants to be what have we got here now? Right. So try and get this going downhill a little bit. I know I said I didn't want tunnels, but we're going to do that. Yeah, because we've got we've got that. Let's try and bring it over here a bit. It's not as awful. I guess we can allow some sort of viaducts, just not... Yeah, I mean that's not too bad, that's quite nice. And then we need to go off here a bit, need to come down to about there, and then no, we've overshot it now. Right, so we need a piece of track in from about there. Okay, and then this needs to weave its way towards Burnley direction. Right, so what I need is a junction right where this mountain range is here. Not mountain range, it's probably a hill. Okay, if you bring that to about there, we'll have a little bit on there. That's still too high. Yeah, I knew crossing the Pennines was going to offer up a challenge, but I didn't think it'd be quite this tricky, because it is just pretty much a straight piece of track. Where can I have the junction? I guess I can have it, I should have it around here somewhere. Obviously it wants to be flat. Gonna have to get rid of all this. We'll start with the junction around Todmorden. So we've got a bit of track in here. It's going to have to be a bit further north of Burnley than it really ought to be, but I think that's about as best we can do. Right, we'll get that in there, and then we've got a good starting point for the junction that we need. So we need that in there to there. That needs to come. Needs to be flattish, really. That's looking all right. Yeah, then we're going to have to do a lot of work with the terrain around here, like so, and then yeah, this is going to have to continue flat, and it's going to have to continue into there, so we can get the Todmorden curve in, or Todmorden curve, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah, that's quite bad. I guess we can have a bit of a curve out, so just so we're not so much in this big hill here, and then we get this curve in here, like so. No, not in a tunnel. There's no tunnel. Right, yeah, so we'll get this curve in, get it out the way, and then we can, hopefully, it should be relatively straightforward. And I'm electrifying it as well. That's good. Right, get rid of catenary. No, thank you. This hasn't... electrification hasn't quite reached these parts even today. Right, so that's in place. We'll just have a quick close-up look at this junction, make sure it's not too bad. Yeah, that's alright. Right, and then we'll just edit some of the terrain around here, just smooth it out a little bit. And then that can go off toward Burnley. And then this wants to be, again, we want another straight section of track going off towards Brighouse. Right, yeah, just decrease these tunnels just a little bit. I know it's not really necessary, it is just for the look. It's just does cost extra money just to do this sort of thing, but I think it's worth it in the long run. Right, and then just that can go to about there. And then do we have, no, we haven't got Brighouse on here, but I think I just want to curve it just a little bit away. Actually, I will refer to my project mapping map. Yeah, it does curve. Does it? Curves away. Where's Huddersfield? That is Huddersfield, so that wants to be in the sort of direction of Huddersfield, like so. Keeping that on the level, because we've got another junction to put in, and hopefully we can actually do it. So, looking at my diagram, the one from Halifax is on quite a nice flat curve, 60, it's not towards 60 all the way. That's not too bad. What do you mean? Construction not possible. Oh, no. It's not happy with that bridge. Right, okay, chuck that in there. Do a bit of an embankment before the bridge, and hopefully then it'll let me put this in place to there. Now let's see if we can get up to Halifax, which we can. And got a bit of track running off like so. Let's have a look at that junction, make sure it's alright. I think that will do. This one, yeah, looks alright. And then this wants to come down. A bit more of a severe junction. Maybe that is quite slow. So we're getting there. Right, so we've reached Halifax. Great. Now we've got to get to Bradford, which is sort of not in the right place. It's supposed to be pretty much a straight run to Bradford, really, but I think there is a bit of like an S in the rail, so we'll have to exaggerate it a bit. He says a lot to get this over there, and that needs to be the other bridge, so it's actually a decent speed across there like that. Not sure what colour stone we would be using. I think it'd be something like that in the Pennines. I'm not entirely sure, but that just feels right. And then we just continue. No, not with a massive viaduct. No. All right, we'll have a couple. It is the Pennines after all. That wants to be, yeah, like that. Into there, like so, and then we just need to double track this all the way up to Bradford, and we will rename the Bradford station Bradford Interchange now, as it is going to be the final sort of iteration of the station. Just before I go any further, I'll just do a bit of terraforming, terrain manipulation, whatever. Yeah, I'll fix that later. So yeah, that is, I could have probably had the station about here maybe, but it'd be a bit further far away from the town. So I think this is probably the best compromise. Right, so I have actually been to Bradford Interchange. Well, I haven't been, I've just, when I went on the Chester to Sheffield, no, the Chester to Leeds service, it does come to Bradford Interchange, and then it does an about turn. I've just deleted everything. Buildings, terminus, size 160 because it's just a regional, and there's a little bit of track in the way. What was I saying? So I have actually called at Bradford Interchange, and it does, I'm pretty sure it has multiple platforms, which I'm going to put in. Yeah, I'll put in 4 platforms, because I think... No, what? Platform length 160. Okie dokie, that's a bit... Is that... Yeah, it's the same sort of... Ooh, this is going to be interesting. What am I going to do here? Because trains need to be able to come in and then turn around and come back out again. And we've got 4 platforms. Right, so we need to get rid of some of this track. Some needs to get a lot. Get rid of the road. That was completely unnecessary, but it will make sense shortly. So I'll bring that down, I think, to about there. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Making it 2 tracks probably would have made things a heck of a lot easier, I guess, but we will persist. Yes, we will. I'm going to reconfigure the station, and I bet you I've made it the wrong colour and everything, haven't I? Right, so get rid of all this. We'll have an extended island sort of platform-ish, and then tracks. We'll have 2 down there. This should all make sense in a minute, he says. A bit of seating down there, and then just an empty platform there. We will, I think, have a colour correct underpass, just to make things easier for interchanges if passengers want to interchange services. Canopies, extend this out like so, and then he says, right, so I mean, this is one of the good things about what I was saying before in the previous episode about the track lining up with the platform segments. Now what we can do here, bring that out to there, same with you, from there to there, and then to there, and then we're probably going to have quite a slow speed diamond crossing 37. I mean, we are approaching a station here anyway, so they can get to all platforms. Yes, they can. And then we want to get this track in. I think another arrangement probably would have been better, because now what we're going to do is have another junction, which is going to complicate things. Yeah, and I know. Yeah, the run up to Halifax really is a lot straighter than that, to be fair. But what you're going to do, right? Okay, and then from here out needs to be relatively flat. What am I doing? Oh yeah, so there is a... Yeah, I was right. There is like a spur that comes off to serve the Leeds. Yeah, that would be right. Yeah, no, not a bridge. Now there probably is some sort of arrangement of junction that I could have done to make this better, but it's pretty much the only way I could think of getting this in. I'm really not happy with this. Not the sheer edge there. That's not really an issue. It's the approach that I'm not happy with. Just want it to be a little bit straighter. Right. Okay. Now we'll no. Flat tool. Flatten that. Smooth a little bit. And that's why there's a bit of a. And that's supposed to be there. We need that. We need that diamond interchange. Diamond crossing. Right, bring you out to about there, keeping you on the level. Much the same, and then diamond crossing. Right, then this wants to be flat. It needs to be flat. On an embankment. And then, yeah, I'm not. I don't suppose there's much I can do about it because of the location of the towns where I've placed them. I mean, I did my best to get them geographically correct, but it's not easy. So we end up with things like this, which are a bit exaggerated for my liking. But I think we're just gonna have to live with them. I'm not going to live with that. That's horrible. I'm not happy with any of this. Halifax is going. I am going to put it where I should have put it, on a bit more of a north-easterly heading, and we're just going to have to run a regular shuttle bus, 2 platforms, and then get that in there to there, and then get these pieces of track in, track, just straight in. We won't have a tunnel, I don't think. Like that, and then we need to get rid of all this track that we've built. With the scale, not everything is going to be accurate, and the placement of towns and whatnot, but I would like things to be at least a little bit representative, like you keep saying anyway. So yeah, just little improvements. I mean, not really that little, because they're quite expensive, but things we can do to make things look a little bit better. So, could do with unpausing the game shortly, because that's I wasn't supposed to have done that either. Right, so I'm going to maybe push that back a little bit, bring that into there, and then we're going to keep a little bit to about there before it starts getting stupidly big. I think there's only one structure that I know that like that which is that tall, and it's an aqueduct, and I'm going to try and pronounce the Pontycillite aqueduct, which carries the canal over the River Dee. Hope I got that correction right. If I didn't, I'll probably be roasted, but yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no other structures really, no other kind of viaducts, aqueducts that tall other than that one. There might be a few more, but I mean, you got the Settle and Carlisle route possibly might be of a similar scale to the Pontycillite aqueduct. Really hope that's right. Pontycillite. But yeah, I don't think around here is that. I'm going to have to do a lot of work in this area, but I'm a bit more happy with the alignment now. What we were trying to do is get the Leeds-Bradford service back in. Ugly turn up there. Again, I'm going to fix all of this. When I've got a bit more money, I'm going to fix it off camera. But for now, I just want the service to be in place. That's just single track for now. We'll just leave that as is. Come to about there. One piece of road rail. It's a bit of a wonky one. We'll leave it. We'll have it. I mean, because we've got to put this road back in, because there is a bus route that needs to be reconnected. Connect you back up, and then you up to there, and then yeah, just lots and lots of expensive terrain. What's up? Burnley. Oh, right. Okay, yeah, we'll fix this before we wrap up, I think, because we have got as pretty much done as we can. No, asphalt to there, and bring a road in. What's that looking like? Horrible. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to have to do a bit more demolition. Oh dear, that was too much. Hopefully Halifax will recover. Right, get that in there, and then yeah, we've spent 60 million quid now, which is quite a lot. Building, we'll have an actual bus station in, I think, here, just for somewhere for the buses to turn around, because I don't like them turning around in the middle of the road. It doesn't look right at all. Right, get all this levelled off a little bit. That's Why is that so hideous? Try that again one more time. And then the AI will probably come along and ruin all the hard work anyway, as it does. But we want to give it the fighting chance of looking at least a little bit attractive. And then a bit to there. And then just one more there. That's livable, I think. We'll just smooth it and forget about it because we've got to put a bus service in. Need to get that connected back up. So we'll use the country road, 2-lane asphalt to about there. Put the bridge in initially, just so we can check 4 pillars aren't just ending in the middle of the ground, and then put the road in itself. Fine, we can unpause the game. Finally. So yeah, I've got a lot of work to do. I'm going to straighten this piece of track out and realign it to come into Leeds. We've got to rebuild Leeds Station at some point anyway, so it's not the end of the world. But just before I wrap up, I'm going to put the service in to where am I going to do it from? So vehicles, no, vehicle manager, sell you, yes. Route manager, Rochdale to Bolton. We're going to take off Rochdale. That's just going to be a shuttle up to Bolton, an expensive shuttle at that, but that is what it is. And we're going to do Manchester Victoria, Rochdale, what? Halifax, Bradford Interchange, Halifax. That's, he says, what? Actually, what? Have I not double tracked it? Have I even connected it up? That is the question. And that's quite a long tunnel after me saying I haven't yet. So back to here. Come out to about there, and that's. It'll go through the very largest lump of that to about there in the tunnel, and then we'll come out here and we're nowhere near. Right, so track to about there. You need to come down a hill to about there. Let's see if that's... oh, damn. Right, we might just have to try and as the crow flies it, I think. So from there to there, like that, in the world's biggest tunnel. Right, yeah, this is the only way I can think of doing this sort of thing is actually to build a tunnel at great expense and then come back in and put the cutting in later, because it gets the, obviously it gets all the alignments and the heights all correct. But yeah, it's going to have to be a tunnel all that way, I think, unfortunately. But at least with Transport Fever 2 you can do cuttings like that and then come back and revisit them later on. So that's all in place. Haven't done any signalling. We were converting to kind of electric multi-aspect signalling. Actually, make sure everything is one way. Yeah, it's not going to be happy. No, wrong way. One way, yes. Face that way. Should have probably put the signalling before I tried to put the routing, because then that forces the route to be on the correct side of the track. And then into there. And then comes up to there, and we will have the signals just before to there, like that. Terminals. Line 3 wants to be on 3 on 1, 5 on 2. much a problem. Change the colour to something a bit more vivid so we can actually see that's Rochdale. Oh yeah, I've got Rochdale stop as well. Terminals, switch 2 on 1, 6 on 2, 2 on 1. Yeah, that's fine. No diamond crossing on this side. Tracks, we'll just put in, we won't put a diamond crossing, we'll just put a switch in there. And terminals, line 1 wants to be on terminal 4. And that should be fine. Signal, could do with changing the colour of that actually, just to make it stand out against that. What is wrong with line 1? So it's coming up here. It's coming up here. All is fine. I've electrified all that for some reason, and then it's just like, no, we're not having it. Right, so right, so electrification, get rid of the electrification. Right, so what is the issue here? I know, shush. Right, so that's heading northbound or northeast bound on 2, and then it's coming up and along this track here. That's all connected up, that's all connected up, there's no gaps or anything. Got a cord in here which goes off to there, that's all connected up, and that's all fine as well. It's 3 on 1, 5 on 2. Hey, it's fixed. Right, good. Let's check that now. It's all in place. So that is, I think, well, ones that we're not sure of are going to be Manchester, Vic to Bradford int. Yeah, the routes that are probably going to be changed at some stage. We'll have question marks at the start of, because obviously these are going to be transformed into something that's a bit more realistic to the timetable. And for this, we're going to go with diesel locomotives, 37s in blue, add, and then passenger Mark 2s with blue grey 1, 2, and then we're going to have DBSO on the end as well. That's quite expensive, but that is that. And then set that to go to Manchester Victoria to Bolton interchange. It probably could at some stage go on to Leeds, but like I said, I need to rebuild Leeds anyway. Yeah, need to rebuild Leeds anyway, so I'm going to leave it like that for now anyway. And obviously I've just got to get some bus routes connected up and different things like that, and hopefully Halifax recovers. Yeah, it was a bit more tricky than I hoped. I'm not entirely happy with the alignment, but I think it's the best we can do with the terrain and the location of the town. So I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm going to say until next time, bye bye.